I worked at McKinsey in New York City at the World Trade Center, and today I'm going to tell you what it's actually like. So, if you're here, you probably like a structured conversation. You probably like a little bit of me-see. You probably like a little bit of top-down communication. So, we're going to break this down into 5 different categories. We're not going to put them in buckets though, because I didn't feel like it. But to dive right into it, I'll just give you a little bit of context. I joined McKinsey as an experienced hire a couple of years ago. I had worked in the entertainment industry, and I kind of also worked in the Department of Justice, so I had a diverse background joining the firm. Nonetheless, I still had the traditional hiring path. I still had the case study, I still had to do the interviews and what have you. And that's how I got myself in the door in New York City. Now, the first thing that we're going to talk about today, as far as working at McKinsey and what it's actually like, is expectations versus reality. And I've got a screen over here I'm going to refer to throughout this video so I can keep myself on track. Hope that you don't mind. Now, the first thing is they sell you this dream. Whether you were an experienced hire or whether you are coming straight out of college, you hear about the prestige of consulting firms, whether it be MBB firms or whether it be the Big Four or what have you. You hear about these things, and you hear about travel, and you hear about making 6 figures, and you hear about working with some of the coolest clients in the world with Amex cards and fancy dinners and suits and all of the lavish things that come with working with a prestigious organization. Now, I'll just be honest. Some of those things are true. For example, you're probably going to have to travel outside of your home office, depending on where it is or depending on where your client's located. But the downside to that is you're probably going to be going to Tennessee or Arkansas or Ohio. Now, no shade to any of those places, but I'm just saying you're not going to be going to Miami or Newport, California, or maybe you are, or Los Angeles or New York City. Maybe, but those are few and far in between. Oftentimes, your clients are not going to be in the most attractive of places. On top of all of that, say you do have to travel to Tennessee or to a place that you just don't want to go and you've never been. It's not like you're going to be able to go out and enjoy the city because you're going to be working at the client site probably to at least 6:30 or 7, maybe sometimes later. And that's assuming that you don't have an analysis that you have to nail your way through before the end of the night or pages to turn over. You're probably going to have to go to dinner once a week. And that's going to go until about 9 or 10 o'clock. But the days that you don't have dinner, you're probably going to have more work to do when you get back to your room. You're not going to want to do anything after that. On top of that, you don't have a rental car. You don't know anyone in that city. So you're just going to watch TV and call your spouse until you fall asleep. So it's not really the best. And okay, maybe you get to save some money because you get to use the company card, but you're already making pretty decent money anyway. Number 2, money versus burnout. This is the trade-off that I don't know if a lot of people talk about, especially at the entry level. Yes, you're making 6 figures, but also you're getting a bonus. But you're only getting 60% of that bonus. You know, I didn't know that. Maybe I'm naive, but like if you get a $20,000 bonus, you're maybe getting $12,000 of that. Probably about 11.8 if we're being honest with you. And that's going to hit you like a ton of bricks when you first learn that out. Yeah, you might fly business class now. Yeah, you might have got a better apartment. But to be honest with you, the trade-off for the money that you're getting paid in your bank account and your check and your social life, like, bro, your girlfriend's going to suffer. Literally, I was at a friend's house on Monday night watching Monday Night Football, and our cousin calls complaining about her boyfriend who works for BCG still being at the office at 10:45 at night. And I looked over and I said, yeah, that's pretty accurate. Get used to it because he's not lying. He's either got pages to turn over because he's got a stakeholder meeting tomorrow, or he's knee deep in an Excel spreadsheet that he has no idea what is going on in. Better call somebody. So this idea that you're going to be able to have it all, some aspect of your life is going to suffer. It just is. And it's maybe your friend group, it may be your parents, it may be your roommates, and it may be your spouse. But unless you guys go into it knowing that, hey, like, you know, for this portion of time while I'm working here, I'm going to have to sacrifice this, and this. I'm not going to be my best, this, and this. That's how it's going to be. My relationship suffer for it. People I know around me suffers from it. Yeah, I had the most money I ever had in my entire life. Tenfold. But guess what? I would talk about all the time how it's not worth the sanity. It's not worth not being able to be present when you're at dinner with somebody or when you're hanging out with your girlfriend because you're thinking about an Excel spreadsheet or you're thinking about clients that you never even met who are halfway across the world. It's not worth it. So that brings me to my next point. Number 3, McKinsey, New York City, honestly, is a different type of hell. I'm going to just be honest with you. That place, while I met some amazing people there, I didn't have any real negative experiences. When I say hell, I mean the commute. Yes, it sucks driving to work at 7 in the morning, 6:30 in the morning. But when you got to wake up that early and you got to travel through New York City to get there because you probably don't have enough money to live in across the street yet because it's downtown Manhattan and it's really expensive, you're probably coming from either northern Manhattan or you're coming from across the river from Queens or from Brooklyn. So that journey is not fun at all. Picture this. You got to wake up 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. You probably have 3 roommates. They're also probably getting dressed ready for work too. Or maybe not because maybe one's a comedian, one's a musician, one doesn't even have a job. But point is, you might have to wrestle to get in the bathroom. You can't go into work looking like anything, so you're going to have to put on a decent pair of clothes. You get dressed, you do your hair. Oh, guess what? You got 9 a.m. check-in. I hope you have everything done ready for check-in because what you need to do is tell your manager everything you did after checkout last night and everything you're going to do today. So I hope you're prepared for it. Oh, but you got to eat breakfast. Oh, and you got to commute. And you got a meeting at 9. So it's terrible. Getting to the World Trade Center is not the worst thing in the world because there's a ton of stops over there. But the point is that place is huge. It's like an airport. Walking through that place, everybody has bags. No one even works in your office. People are from Russia. People are from Germany. They're from South America. They're from all over the place. You don't even recognize anyone in here. And it's just another thing they don't tell you that is one big entrepreneurship. It's like a firm is not a company. When you go to these firms, it is your responsibility to operate within it. When I went to New York City at McKinsey, I was not even a month and a half in, and it was my responsibility to get staffed on a project. How am I going to get staffed on a project if I don't know anyone? And then they tell you to go network. Okay, great. These people are busy. These senior partners, these engagement managers, these partners are busy. They don't have time to have a 15-minute conversation with a BA from Oklahoma who just graduated and this is her first job. They're working on 7 different projects. They don't have time for this crap, but they're obligated to take the call. So they might take it a month and a half from now and reschedule it 4 times. And this is no shade on them, but this is just the system that was created to help us, quote unquote, get staff. And the resources aren't there. Your PD can help you get staff. Yes, they're going to do that the first 3 or 4 times, but after that, you're cooked. And it's on you. But guess what? What they don't tell you is 50% of it is luck. Because your first project might have the capability to determine the trajectory of your entire career at that company. You might luck up and get on something that's 9 months long, where you might have one work stream for half the time and another work stream for the other half of the time. Or maybe one work stream the whole time. And then you might even get an opportunity where you get to advise another BA. Or you might get put on a 4-week proposal like me. And then at the middle of the proposal, they're mid-stride. I'm a new hire coming in. After that, then what? I got on my first study, but I didn't get to do anything but figure out how to synthesize meetings in HR. So that brings me to my next point, which is power, politics, and pretending. Now, I covered a lot of that in what I just said, but really, people are not telling you the truth. And this is where I'm going to get real for a second. And this is a lesson in life and not so much a lesson in McKinsey. But when you're at a job and people are telling you things, you kind of got to take them with a grain of salt. Everything that I was told was the exact opposite. And if someone tells you that they're not going to say anything, that they're going to keep this between you and them, it is in your best interest to assume that they are not telling the truth. I'm not saying go snitch or anything like that, but I'm just saying when people tell you stuff, you cannot be surprised when they are not telling the truth. There were instances where, hey, you're not getting staff. They're not going to fire you, but they're just going to stop calling you. Everyone is smiling. Everyone is walking around like everything is good. But I promise you, everyone is literally drowning. No one knows what they are doing. Maybe the EM. You know what I mean? Maybe the EM knows what he's doing because the EMs, man, they're really, really, really solid. But everyone puts on this front like they know what's going on. Your buddy, your other BA, he's lost in that Excel analysis. Your other friend that's working on that work stream, they have no idea what to put on the next page. The other one has been turning over the same 5 pages because he can't get it right. So the level of imposter syndrome that you have to like deal with is absolutely insane. But to try to mitigate that, you just got to talk to people and so you can know that you're not alone in this, because you're not. You're not. Everyone's lost in the sauce, but everyone's just too uptight to admit it. So that leads me to my last point, which is the aftermath and what it does to you. And does it make you sharper? Does it break you? Do you regret it? Would you do it again? All of those questions. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't regret it. It did make me sharper. It made me stronger. It made me learn how to better communicate. I learned how to do a deck like nobody's business. I learned how to communicate way more effectively. I learned how to write emails more effectively. I learned how to conduct meetings as a leader, as a boss, as a manager, someone who can drive something forward. So all in all, if you are thinking about joining one of these firms, I would say yes, do it, despite everything that I just said. Because what you're going to get out of it is more than the monetary. And if you can come out on top on the monetary, then that's even better. But nonetheless, they teach you how to work. So you're not just doing things. They teach you how to build a framework. Say, okay, here are the 3 pillars of how, all right, here's the goal. We want to get from A to B. Here are the 3 pillars on how we're going to get there. That's all. And that simplified logic really, really helps you break it down. Because once you adopt that bird's eye view and you write down, okay, this, okay, this, okay, this, okay, now X that, X that, X that. Okay, this is how we get there. That is invaluable. Invaluable. So if you're thinking about joining consulting, just ask yourself, are you seeking prestige or are you seeking purpose? Drop a comment below if you worked for BCG Bain, anybody involved in this, Booz Allen, Deloitte, doesn't matter. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. This is Rick So. Peace.